Hello there guys and welcome back to the channel. So after a bit of a break when Battlegrounds were on an off week, we are back, and these guys right now are top 8. They are battling for a spot in top 4, and everybody in top 4 gets a minimum of $200. So all of these matches are already intense because whoever wins has guaranteed $200. And then if they can go ahead and win in the finals, it is guaranteed, well, it is a prize of $800. So there is a lot on the stake here. And we're gonna have Beewee versus Terrified as first of our 4 matches. So again, this is quarterfinals. This is top 8. 8 of the best players who started with 128 players. It has whittled down to 8. And let's see how they do. So once again, we see that Beewee is at the top left corner. We have Terrified at the bottom right corner. They are just about finishing their draft choices. And then they will get it on. Man, that sounded a bit dirty. Okay. Right. So let's see. We have Terrified finishing off his draft with a Mephisto, and who is going to select as his last champion right there. Going to be quite interesting to see what he goes for. Again, so this is now the rich get richer meta, and he picks up an Ebony Maw as well. And now the final champion pick for Beewee. He has a choice of Killmonger, Thing, or Hercules. He goes with Hercules, a very solid two-way champion. Hercules is much more annoying on defense and capable than a lot of people think. And obviously he's a great offensive champion as well, especially when he gains extra power due to Rich Get Richer. Right, so first placement is Mephisto by Terrified, and let's see how Beewee responds. Has quite a few good defensive options there, and he drops a Mephisto. So this is basically a mirror match. A Mephisto off. Mephisto off? Yeah, I mean, that's good enough. Let's go with that. Let's say it's a Mephisto off. So we have Mr. Negative, obviously very solid counter for Terrified there. And definitely better option in my opinion than Hercules. So again, if I was the odds maker and I had to predict the winner of this one, I would certainly go with Mr. Negative being the one that comes out of this matchup in a better shape. But let's see how it will actually play out. Right, so we have Beewee here. Again, he will have to start by trying to ramp up Hercules with a light intercept. As he does, he very successfully gets all the way up to 6 feet of power. But meanwhile, obviously, Terrified is basically getting the job done. Gonna bait out that level 2 there by the looks of it. And Herc is putting in work as well. Finally, that Mephisto throws his special. He gets in his conversion, goes for a level 2, 17 Degers, 2 Petrify. So now you do not need to worry about Mephisto's power gain or any of that stuff. Only trying not to take too much Incinerate damage. But the job is getting done there. Final 11% there. And here we go, finish in under a minute. And whilst Beewee is still finishing up his fight, he does have slightly more health, and he actually pulls this one out. I genuinely am quite surprised with this one. He was 5 seconds slower. But hey, Hercules beats Mr. Negative in a Mephisto fight. That is some exceptional gameplay there by Beewee, without a doubt. I did not see this one coming. And hey, that's why these players are in the top 8, because they can do some amazing feats with champions, even when the odds are not necessarily in their favor. So now, Beewee is dropping Nick Fury as a very, very solid defensive option, and let's see how will Terrified respond. And he goes with Ebony Maw. Now, placing Ebony Maw is always risky, because if the fight goes perfect, Ebony Maw does have a fairly small health pool, and especially in a matchup such as this, where Nick Fury basically has, you know, the biggest health pool in the game, given his extra life. So, Archangel against Ebony Maw, and CGR against Nick Fury. So here, the riskier fight in my opinion, is definitely the Archangel fight, but it also should be significantly faster. So unless something very bad happens in Beewee's fight, he should take round 1 home. And that was a bit of a dodgy heavy attack there. He cannot get in the initial parry. Finally he does. He knocks down that Ebony Maw in order to stop the timer countdown. Needs to go get some bleeds on there. And so he does. He has 1 bleed there. And I suspect he's going to go into his level 1 to get that poison and the neuro. Meanwhile, we can see that CGR is just having his way with that Nick Fury. But Beewee has gotten going. He has 4 neuros active, plenty of bleeds, plenty of poisons. And Terrified makes a mistake and gets clobbered by Nick Fury just before destroying Life Model Decoy. So with that, you know, this match is definitely decided. Had he finished Nick Fury with full health, you know, there might be a bit of a leeway for Terrified, but since he took that damage there and the time's ticking, this one definitely goes to Beewee, and he takes an early lead in this matchup with 1-0. Yeah, okay. So here we are. Beewee's up 1. This is best out of 5, or basically whoever gets first to 3 wins. And let's see how much 2 is going to go. So here we can see Terrified picking up his last 2 champions, I believe. And one of them is Juggernaut. Man, Juggernaut is such a beast, though. Oh, I love my Juggernaut. I took my Juggernaut to rank 4, and that has had some very unfortunate consequence that he's banned in like 4 out of 5 matches. And I miss my Jugger boy. Okay, so here, Beewee finishes his draft. Beewee finishes his draft with Nick Fury and Ibon. And Terrified is going to have the last pick here with, let's see who he decides to go with. There's the Mephisto, there's the Hitmonkey, there's the Hyperion, and he goes with Hitmonkey. Fair enough, and Nuke is always a nuke, even though in the current Mega Mars of his meta, it's a lot trickier to use Hitmonkey. But let's see how this works out. So the first defender placed by Beewee is Rintra, obviously always a solid defensive option, a chunky boy. And let's see who Terrified ends up placing, and that is Nick Fury. So both very solid defenders. We have Hulkling. Hulkling is just a monster in the Rich Get Richer meta. And let's see who is Terrified picking to go up against that Rintra. And that's Hitmonkey. I don't think this is a brilliant idea. I don't think this is a brilliant matchup for Terrified. I'm definitely here putting the chips on the Hulkling fight. Hulkling in Rich Get Richer meta is just filthy. It is a filthy man. Just take a look at that. So obviously, you know, hopefully Terrified does his best there with Hitmonkey. But at the same time, how Beewee just nailing in. So he's gonna go for his first level 2 here with 2 Furies. But as you can see, by the time his level 2 finishes, he's basically back at another bar of power. Fortunately, Nick Fury decides to throw his level 1. But again, it doesn't really matter too much. He drops another special 2, this time with 1 Fury, but that's more than enough. He just needs to... First, Nick Fury's Life Model Decoy destroyed in like under 40 seconds in the fight, but the Rintra is still there with 63% health, and Hitmonkey has had better days in the office. Oof, that's a serious mistake. He eats that level 1 there and finishes at 40%. However, it should still be good enough. Definitely not the best Hulkling finish health-wise. Time-wise, it's still excellent, 56 seconds. But Hitmonkey definitely ain't beating that this time around against Rintra, because obviously the power gain is just quite crazy to deal with, and even though Hitmonkey does have plenty of damage, Rintra has even more health. And now Rintra goes for level 3. Hitmonkey being quite a fragile champion, I advise everybody to turn away from the screen for a second, because what is to follow is going to be quite ugly. And yeah, there we go. Level 3 absolutely annihilates that Hitmonkey's health pool, what little of it was remaining. And round 1 here goes to Beewee. Let's move on. Beewee's having a good time here, despite a massive error. The difference in matchups was big enough to basically decide this in his favor. Now, again, another Ebony Maw placement, just like in the previous match. And here we can see who is he going to place. That is Nick Fury. This is, again, same thing, the same set of matchups that happened. Beewee had to kill Ebony Maw. Terrified had to kill Nick Fury. Let's see whether this time Terrified can finish with closer to full health. But Beewee is going with Hercules. And that is why it's probably a good idea to ban Hercules from this guy, because he's very, very good with it, with fast ramp-ups, with those light intercepts, and makes very, very little mistakes. Take your mental notes. If you're gonna match Beewee in any tournament, take away his Hercules. He's filthy with it, obviously. And the cool thing about Hercules, obviously, is the fact that Hercules does have access to True Sense, being able to bypass miss, so he does not have to worry about falter. If anything, he can use that falter to get some willpower healing in case you need to recover some block damage. And he actually chooses not to go for the level 1. Gonna go ahead and bait out the level 2 and probably wait out the falter. It is worth noting that falter is lasting slightly longer against Cosmic Champions. And here in the bottom again, Cosmic Ghost Rider has lost some health already, but Nick Fury has his life model decoy destroyed. And as long as Beewee does not make a major mistake, he's going to finish this fight with close to full bar and quicker. So again, Ebony Maw does not hold the defense, and Beewee just nukes him down. Again, take away Hercules from this man. Nothing else to add there. And don't use Ebony Maw against him either. He seems to have that one down. So with this, Beewee officially moves up to 2-0. And that means that Terrified is starting to get his back against the wall here. He's not quite at the must-win every fight scenario, but he's not far off it. If he does not win round 1, then every following fight is going to be basically immediate elimination in any consecutive matches aside from the first one. Right, because Beewee just needs to get that one match in. Let's see who is Terrified picking as his last. And don't pick that Ebony Maw. Beewee has his number. Just move away from Maw. Yes, pick the cow. Very solid. Pick the cow. Pick something else. Do not go for Ebony Maw. There we go. Mallman, solid. No more Maws. Seems that Terrified is also agreeing with my judgment that Ebony Maw is not quite performing up to snuff when it comes to Beewee. And again, Beewee got his Hercules in. Okay, that Hercules against... If I was playing against Beewee, that Hercules would have been banned. Simple. He's just too filthy with it. Can't let... And that is, again, one of the things that I often prefer to do in Battlegrounds is just take away the champions that opponents are most comfortable with. Or at least try to. And here we go. Round 3. And Hercules still on the table. Terrified is opting to go with Omega Sentinel against the Thing, whilst we have Beewee using Immortal Abomination against Dr. Doom. And here, this round, I do have to give it to Beewee. I do think Omega Sentinel can do Thing. I do think you need to be careful. I do think there's, reasonable margin of error. But I just don't think it's going to be the fastest fight. Oof! However, Beewee starts the match with getting clapped in the face. Now, this might be the turn of the tables that's needed. Obviously, Immortal Abomination can recover a portion of that missing health here, but that comes with the condition that he doesn't take much more chip damage and any more mistakes. But he gets in his level 2 cleanly. He's, never mind, scratch that, down to 65%. Another combo to the face. But we have Thing that's definitely looking significantly healthy, whilst that Dr. Doom does not. And at this point, 50 seconds or close to have elapsed in the fight, and the thing is just not going down. And obviously, because Terrified didn't have his debuffs placed properly, the thing is just super healthy. So it does look like, even with all the face claps, again, due to the strength of the matchup and the difference of how much more favorable I-Bomb is to Doom than Omega Sentinel is to Thing, Beewee slips through this one. Beewee slips through this one. Getting quite fortunate there. But you can also easily say that that is the benefit of outdrafting your opponent. If you have borderline foolproof counters to opponents' borderline, perfect play required counters, then that is a side effect. You do not have to be perfect in your fight to do better than your opponent does in the match. So here we go. Beewee takes round 1, and now Terrified is completely backed against the wall. Terrified has to win next 2, can't lose any of the next 2 games, or he is out of the tournament and misses out on $200. So let's see how this goes. So Terrified has to place the defense here first. Has options, but he chooses to go with Warlock, which is fair enough, because it's a solid... Oh no, that is Beewee. Beewee's placing Warlock on defense. My bad, I apologize. Let's see who is Terrified going to place. He places Rintra. And we have Hercules against Rintra. Again, just ban the flipping Hercules. That Herc should have been out of there day 1 pronto. Okay, let's see. We're gonna have, by the looks of it, Mole Man going up against Warlock. That definitely is not a matchup you necessarily see every day, but fair enough. Let's see how it works out. Guaranteed crits meet unable to crit on special attacks. Huh, kind of funny. Guaranteed crits on, level 2. Okay, Herc against Rintra, Mole Man against Warlock. And normally I would say neither one has, a great matchup, but Beewee clearly does jazz up his Hercules quite a lot. Again, within first 15 seconds, he's already at 10 feats of power. Never mind that, 11 feats of power, but he seems to forget where that parry button is. Happens to me a lot. It's either you seem to forget where that parry button is, or Kabam forgets to activate parry. But here we have Shock on Warlock. That still deals a burst of damage. I actually did not know that. That's kind of cool. But here we go. Warlock is getting downed now at a reasonable pace. Oh, however, that eating that combo, I have a feeling, will cost quite a bit, because neither one of these players have the fastest matchup here. I do think that Mole Man will be faster, but again, both have to deal with substantial amounts of chip damage, I'd say. Come on, bait out at level 2. This is definitely a match of who's gonna screw it up the least type of situation, because nobody's having a good time in these fights. Nobody's happy with their matchups here. So let's see how this works out. We have 28 seconds. Beewee actually was quite tricky with getting that Rapture on him, because single Rapture did offer him some willpower healing, which is quite neat, versus obviously Mole Man has no such option because of the infections preventing him from healing. So here Beewee goes for level 2 just before timer expires. However, Ranger at that point is stun immune. And there he finishes with level 2. And who wins this one? Herc wins this one. Beewee wins. Herc wins this one by having done more damage, which means Beewee takes it home. Congratulations to Beewee. Guaranteed $200 to him, and he is first of our 4 semi-finalists. Definitely an immense accomplishment. So let's give it up for Beewee, and I will be back with the next ones sooner than you think. See ya. Hello there guys and welcome back to the channel. So we have all the information about the